Well, you asked me to talk about high school. We graduated in the class of '69. We are here for our 55th reunion. We were very proud to go to this school. It was pretty brand new when we started, and we were aware that it was a very innovative school, the design, the classrooms. So I think it was a great experience. It felt like a college campus. We had a lot of freedom. The classrooms were all different. We thought the teachers were really challenging, and we got a really good education. Kathy?
Yeah, it was really fun. I really liked going to high school, and I had a lot of friends, and Sue was one of my friends. And you know, we loved school, but not all the classes. Like for me, I didn't like science. I didn't like science and math, but I loved English and art. And that's what I went into later, writing and art. So it laid a foundation for that. I actually won the award for excellence in art for senior year for all the good. My parents didn't want me to go to art school, though, so I went to college.
But you ended up doing art.
I ended up doing it anyway.
Yes.
But I loved the school and just the whole the feel, like a college feel, you know, just that it was all spread out, and you went for, but in the wintertime, we had to carry our coats with us because we had lockers in different buildings.
Yeah, so we were all remembering the blizzard of '69, the year we graduated, February. We had 3 weeks off in a row because there was one continuous storm after the other, including February vacation week. So we had 1 week of school that February, and we were seniors. And because of the way the school was laid out, they couldn't keep the sidewalks all cleared. So it was like walking through tunnels between the buildings. And after a certain period, they just gave up, and there was no school. And we were happy because we didn't have to make it up because we were graduating. So we were all talking about that February of '69.
Well, we just toured the school today, and the principal, Allison, gave us this phenomenal tour. It was really great. And one thing I noticed is all the color. There's so many beautiful colored tiles, and that there was no, I don't remember any color. I remember everything sort of being just like cement blocks and beige, and it was just really, you know, enlivening what's been done to the place. It looks really good.
So in later years, I think we all realized the design of that school was very not realistic for a New England climate. It was built for California, and like, what were they thinking when they designed that? But
yeah, because it was in Life magazine.
Yeah,
there was a whole story about it when it.
And the field house was cool, and it still is. But I agree with Kathy. The new school, it's new, it's shiny, it's got lots of windows, but it has a little bit of retro feel to it, which I like. So it has a lot of color. And,
it has a lot of color, and what I love is
yes.
that they have a lot of programs, a lot of crafts, and you know, sort of the kids can learn to do things. You know, everything. I think she said they have somebody coming in that does welding, everything. You know, pottery, you name it, and that the home ec classes are now for men as well as women.
Good.
And the shop classes for women as well as men. It's not back then. It was, you know, if you were a woman, you were in the kitchen baking.
Well, when we started, we couldn't wear pants to school. We had to wear dresses until I think our senior year. Then they allowed us to wear pants.
I know. I used to wear those kilts. Remember, they had those plaid kilts with the gold safety pin and Fair Isle sweaters, and you get all dressed up to go to school. It was very exciting. The kids don't have that experience today, I guess.
But anyways, so we have our class is about 250, and there's maybe 40 of us meeting for this reunion, and we all talk about how great it was growing up in Wayland, and a lot of us have remained friends for a long, long time now, so over 60 years.
Yeah, and actually our last reunion, our 50th reunion, was in 2019, and COVID struck right after the reunion. So we started having these Zoom calls, and they're still going. So we've stayed in touch that way too, which has been fun.
Thank you.
Do you remember?
Yes, because of the architect and the design was so unique for the early '60s that it wasn't an old classic brick building. It was spread out. It was a campus. It had the dome. So it got national media
publicity
attention
at the time.
Yeah, the Wayland High School.
Before we went there, but
yeah,
it was.
So it was sort of.
It was
famous.
ahead of its time,
right.
You know, but it was not practical.
Right. So I was sort of anti-high school in a way, so I didn't join a lot of extracurricular.
I didn't either. I know.
It's funny. I mean, you were either in the sports teams or not. If you were a musician, you could do stuff. There wasn't as many options, I don't think, as there are now.
No, I think that, was there a school paper or something? I might have written for the school
yearbook
paper.
committee, but I couldn't wait to leave, you know. I had a part-time job, so it was
Yeah, I don't know. I
different.
didn't really, I wasn't
No.
involved in the student council or anything like that. That's
No.
why it was so funny when after I got out of college, I was the one that had the idea to do the reunion, and
Yeah,
I've been
Kathy's been
organizing the
doing it.
reunions. But in high school, I was not involved like Sue. I just wasn't
No.
involved. I really, you know, I liked my classes and I loved English and art. I hated math and science.
We had a lot of homework, so I remember going home
Yeah.
and doing homework, and many of us had family responsibilities, so there wasn't a lot of hanging out here, I guess, from my point of view, but I don't know.
No computers.
No, yep.
And phones, all the phones were dial phones. Plugged into the wall.
In terms of the design of this new school, I think we were all happy to see like the auditorium seating in the classrooms, because we remember that as something that we liked. It was like small lecture halls, and it was like a prelude to college in a way.
Didn't they call it the little theater? Is that, or was that?
Well, we had a little theater and we had a library. What else is sort of reminiscent? Oh, the Common.
Yeah, the Commons was the cafeteria.
And the way they set up the picnic tables and allowing students to be outside and mingle, we had that too. So it was nice to see they kept some of those elements.
But the quad, having that big grass area out there
Yes.
between the two buildings where
Right.
people can gather, and it just has a college type feel, like allows the kids to socialize and relax.
Have some freedom, right?
And it's a lot of green space, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Right. Well, there used to be a hill where the main building is now, and when they built that, they must have excavated part of that hill, because people
Yeah, because we used to go up on that hill and
probably
we used to
smoke pot,
scoop
whatever.
school,
There used to be ski.
Now it's gone.
They used to ski off of that.
Yeah.
The ski team would practice. That hill is gone. Where the football field is pretty much where it is now. The tennis courts got moved. They were next to it. Now they're out front. The campus feels still sort of spread out, you know.
Yeah, it does feel more spread out. It
yeah.
feels like a college campus. And
Right.
when you go there, it has that thing that says Wayland High School. Like that wasn't there before. That big stone.
Right.
Do you remember that?
No. More cars. It looks like more students drive to school or have their own cars. I think that was less, and
Yeah.
maybe
we didn't have. It was a big deal to have
it was a
your own
big-
car,
yeah,
to
'cause
borrow a car, borrow your parents' car to go to
You can just
school.
tell from the number of cars coming and going, but yeah. And did they restrict us from having cars? Could you have to be a junior or something?
I don't think so, but I
No,
just think
I don't-
people didn't have them.
Yeah, they didn't have access to a car, right? So.
But that's funny, talking about that hill. That was the site of a lot of bad behavior back in the day.
Of course.
We used to all, cut class and whatever. But
Or actually leave school, and nobody knew about it. Well, we did get caught, but anyways.
and gym class, I hated gym class because, the showers were cold, and I just didn't like gym. I'm sure, like today, if they had I would wish I had been trained on weights when I was in high school, because eventually I started weight training, but I didn't start until I was in my 30s because I didn't realize how important it was for your health.
Do you remember
and
the
well-being.
balance beam and doing some gymnastics?
No, I couldn't do that.
And the rings and stuff, I remember
I couldn't
doing
do any of that.
Oh.
Maybe I didn't want to.
You weren't athletic.
No, I was never athletic, but now I am because I work out.
Okay, good.
But that's one thing I didn't learn here. I'm glad that people can today. The people, the English and art teachers, and just the camaraderie of the people.
I would say the friendships we made, also the really excellent teachers that challenged us, encouraged us, and the sense of community that a town like Wayland's fosters in young people that really is important and helps them have a sense of place in the world to go from here out into the bigger world and thrive, I think.
Yeah, and most of us did.
Yeah, we did. It's fun to be back.
Yeah, it's a treat. It is.